You are the creator of your reality. Every thought, every feeling, and every assumption you hold shapes the world around you. The truth of this statement lies not in wishful thinking or vague hope, but in the very foundation of how life operates. To live in the end, to act as if you already have what you desire, is not merely an exercise in positive thinking, it is a conscious alignment with the creative power that defines the universe. What does it mean to live in the end? It means adopting the mindset that you are already in possession of what you desire, as though it has already come to pass. This is not a fantasy, but rather the most potent act of creation. It's about knowing that the future you wish for is already a present reality within you. The key is to assume this state completely, allowing it to govern your actions, thoughts, and feelings as though it were already your truth. When you live in the end, you step beyond the limits of what your senses tell you. Your senses show you the world as it appears, but your imagination shows you the world as it could be. The true power lies in choosing which of these to believe. Most people are so tied to the evidence of their senses that they cannot break free from the current version of their lives. They look around and see lack, failure, or limitation, and they allow these external conditions to dictate their internal state. But the real process of creation happens the other way around. What is within you determines what is around you. When you can stand firm in the conviction that you already possess your desire, despite the outer conditions, the world will begin to shift in response. It is not the outer world that has the final say, it is your inner world. Consider this: everything you see now in your life was once imagined. The job you have, the relationships you are in, the home you live in, these were all, at one time, nothing more than thoughts in your mind. They only became reality because at some point, consciously or unconsciously, you assumed them to be true. You believed in their existence before they manifested. This is the power of assumption. To act as if you already have what you want is to align yourself with the state of being that attracts it into your life. If you desire love, act as though you are already deeply loved. Feel what it feels like to be cherished, respected, and adored. If you desire abundance, walk through life with the calm confidence that comes from knowing you are financially free. Feel the relief, the joy, the excitement of having more than enough. If you want success, carry yourself as though you are already successful. Speak, think, and act from the place of accomplishment, even if the world hasn't caught up with that reality yet. There will be moments when your current circumstances tempt you to abandon this mental discipline. Doubts will creep in, and your senses will try to convince you that nothing is changing. But this is where your faith must remain unshaken. The outer world is always slow to reflect inner change. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig up the soil every day to check whether the seed is growing. You trust that it is taking root beneath the surface, even when there is no visible evidence of progress. In the same way, you must trust that the reality you are cultivating in your mind is coming to fruition, even when nothing seems to be happening yet. The process of living in the end involves more than just thought. It requires feeling. Thought alone is not enough to bring about change. You must feel the state of your wish fulfilled. This is not simply imagining what it would be like, it is the actual feeling of living in that state now. Your emotions are the language through which you communicate with the creative force of the universe. The stronger your feeling, the more powerfully you are communicating your desire. Ask yourself, how would you feel if you were already the person you wish to be? What emotions would dominate your experience? Is it relief, joy, excitement, peace, or confidence? Whatever those feelings are, they are the key to unlocking your desired reality. Begin to cultivate them in your daily life. Even if the world tells you that nothing has changed, remain steadfast in your feeling that everything has already changed. Living in the end also requires you to release any attachment to the how and when of your desire's manifestation. The human mind often tries to control the process, attempting to figure out every detail of how things will unfold. But this need for control stems from a place of doubt. It suggests that you don't truly believe in the power of your assumption. When you live in the end, you trust that the details will be taken care of. You let go of the need to micromanage the process and surrender to the natural unfolding of events. You know that what is meant for you will come in the perfect way, at the perfect time. It's essential to cultivate patience. Creation takes time, not because it is inherently slow, but because we often stand in our own way by doubting or wavering in our faith. If you can hold steady in the assumption that your desire is already yours, you will accelerate the process. However, every moment of doubt, every time you revert to focusing on what you lack, delays the manifestation. You must remain unwavering in your conviction that it is already done, even when faced with evidence to the contrary. Living in the end means living with an unshakable sense of certainty. It means making decisions as though your desired outcome is already your reality. How would you act if you were already living your dream? How would you treat others? How would you spend your time? What would your daily routine look like? Begin to embody those actions now. By aligning your behavior with your desired state of being, you send a clear signal to the universe that this is who you are, and the universe responds accordingly. The external world is nothing more than a mirror, reflecting back to you the contents of your inner world. If you do not like what you see in your life, it is not because the world is against you, it is because your internal state does not match your desire. Change the state within, and the reflection must change as well. Remember, the feeling of having already achieved your desire is the catalyst for its manifestation. The more consistently you can live in this feeling, the more rapidly your reality will shift to align with it. It is not enough to occasionally dip into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You must make it your dominant state of being. You must carry this feeling with you throughout your day, regardless of what is happening around you. As you persist in this state, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your reality. Things will start to move in your favor. Opportunities will arise, doors will open, and the people and circumstances you need will be drawn to you. This is the natural consequence of living in the end. It is not magic, it is the law. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. The only difference is that now you are doing it consciously. So live boldly. Live in the end as though your dream is already yours. Know that your assumption is the key to your power. You do not need to wait for permission from the world to begin living as the person you wish to be. The moment you assume it is true, it becomes true within you. And when it is true within, it must become true without. When you live in the end, you are tapping into a fundamental truth about reality. Everything is created twice, first in the imagination and then in the external world. This principle underpins all creation. The invisible precedes the visible. The intangible precedes the tangible. It's important to understand that every physical object, every relationship, every circumstance in your life began as an idea, a thought, or a feeling. Once you grasp this concept, you begin to realize that the world around you is not fixed. It is malleable, changeable, and entirely subject to the beliefs you hold. The moment you conceive of a desire, it already exists in an unseen realm. It exists in potential. It is not yet visible, but that does not mean it isn't real. The unseen is as real as the seen. The only difference is that one has not yet materialized into form. By living in the end, by acting as though you already have what you want, you begin to collapse the gap between the invisible and the visible. You draw that potential reality closer to the present moment, until it inevitably becomes part of your physical experience. Living in the end is a declaration of faith. It is an unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours. But faith, in this context, is not passive. It is an active, living force. Faith demands that you embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled, that you think, speak, and act as though the thing you desire is already your reality. This is a powerful shift because most people wait for external evidence before they allow themselves to feel a certain way. They wait for success before they feel successful. They wait for love before they feel loved. They wait for abundance before they feel wealthy. To live in the end is to take your mind off the process of how your desire will come to fruition. It requires you to trust in a deeper intelligence, one that orchestrates all of creation. The human mind often gets caught up in the details, trying to figure out every step along the way. It wants to know exactly how things will happen, in what order, and according to what timeline. But this need for control is rooted in fear. It's the fear that if you don't personally manage every aspect of the process, your desire won't manifest. This fear is unnecessary. When you live in the end, you are handing over the details to a higher power, trusting that the universe knows the most harmonious and efficient way to bring your desire into being. You let go of the need to know how it will happen, and instead you focus entirely on living in the feeling that it already has happened. This is not a passive form of surrender, it is an active participation in creation. You are still deeply involved in the process, but your role is to maintain the inner state of fulfillment, to nurture the feeling that your desire is already yours. The question often arises, how long do you need to live in the end before your desire manifests? The answer is as long as it takes for you to fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled. There is no set timeline, no rigid schedule. Some desires may manifest quickly, while others may take longer. The key is persistence. You must remain faithful to your assumption, regardless of how long it takes for the physical world to catch up with your inner state. The physical world is slower to respond than your imagination, but that doesn't mean it isn't responding. Think of it like a river that has been flowing in one direction for a long time. When you change your assumptions, when you begin to live in the end, you are changing the direction of the current. It may take time for the river to fully shift, but the moment you change your assumption, the current begins to turn. The more consistently you live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the faster the external world will reflect that new direction. Living in the end requires you to be vigilant about your thoughts and feelings. You must guard against slipping back into old patterns of lack and limitation. It's easy to fall into the habit of reacting to the current conditions of your life, especially if those conditions are far from what you desire. But every time you react to your external circumstances as though they are fixed and unchangeable, you reinforce the very reality you wish to transcend. This is where mental discipline comes into play. You must train yourself to focus on the reality you want, not the reality you see. Your current circumstances are nothing more than the outpicturing of your past thoughts, feelings, and assumptions. They are not permanent, and they do not define what is possible for you. When you live in the end, you are no longer bound by the limitations of your current reality. You are living from a place of infinite possibility, knowing that whatever you assume to be true within you will eventually become true in the world around you. One of the most powerful tools in living in the end is visualization. When you visualize, you are using the power of your imagination to create the feeling of your wish fulfilled. But visualization is not just about seeing images in your mind. It is about fully immersing yourself in the experience of your desired reality. You must engage all of your senses, see the sights, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and most importantly, experience the emotions of living in your desired state. If you desire financial freedom, imagine yourself living that reality. What does your daily life look like? How do you feel as you wake up each morning, knowing that you have more than enough money to meet your needs and desires? If you desire a living relationship, visualize yourself with your ideal partner. What are you doing together? How do you feel in their presence? The more vivid and real you can make these mental experiences, the more powerfully they will impress upon your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you impress upon it as truth. This is why it is so important to guard the thoughts and images you allow into your mind. Every thought, every feeling, every image you hold is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Over time, those seeds will grow and bear fruit in the form of your external reality. The question is, what kind of seeds are you planting? Are they seeds of abundance, love, and success, or are they seeds of lack, fear, and limitation? Living in the end is about consciously choosing the seeds you plant. It's about taking control of your inner world so that it aligns with the outer world you wish to create. This is not a one-time effort. It is a daily practice. Every day you must choose to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of what is happening around you. Some days it will be easy, and other days it will be more challenging. But the more you practice, the more natural it will become. Over time, living in the end will become second nature to you. You will no longer have to consciously remind yourself to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, because it will become your default state. You will move through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that whatever you desire is already yours. This is the true power of living in the end. It allows you to move beyond the limitations of time and space and to create your reality from the inside out. Another important aspect of living in the end is self-concept. Your self-concept is the foundation upon which all of your desires are built. It is the image you hold of yourself in relation to the world around you. If your self-concept is rooted in lack, unworthiness, or limitation, no amount of external effort will bring about lasting change. You may achieve temporary success, but it will not be sustainable because your self-concept will eventually pull you back to a state that matches your inner beliefs. In order to live in the end effectively, you must elevate your self-concept to match the reality you desire. You must see yourself as worthy, capable, and deserving of all that you wish to create. This is not about arrogance or ego, it is about recognizing the divine power within you. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a creator. When you truly understand this, you begin to approach life from a place of empowerment rather than fear. Elevating your self-concept requires you to let go of old, limiting beliefs about who you are and what is possible for you. These beliefs may have been ingrained in you since childhood. They may have been reinforced by society, by your family, or by past experiences. But they are not the truth of who you are. They are simply the result of past conditioning. When you live in the end, you are not bound by the past. You are free to create a new self-concept that aligns with your highest vision for your life. One of the most effective ways to elevate your self-concept is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that affirm the reality you wish to create. When repeated consistently, they begin to reshape your subconscious mind and align it with your desired outcome. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you might affirm, "I am financially free and abundant." If you desire love, you might affirm, "I am worthy of deep and fulfilling love." The key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you and to repeat them often, especially during moments of doubt or fear. Detachment is one of the most misunderstood aspects of creation. Many believe that to detach means to stop caring about the outcome or to give up on the desire altogether. But this is not the case. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means freedom. It means freeing yourself from the need for your desire to manifest in a specific way or on a specific timeline. Detachment allows you to maintain a state of peace and inner fulfillment, regardless of what is happening in the external world. It means that your happiness is not contingent upon the manifestation of your desire. When you are truly living in the end, you are so absorbed in the feeling of your wish fulfilled that the need for external validation fades away. You no longer feel the urge to check for signs or to constantly monitor the progress of your manifestation. You know that your desire is already yours, and so there is no need to obsess over when or how it will appear. This is the essence of detachment. Detachment also allows you to remain open to the infinite possibilities that exist in the universe. When you are overly attached to a specific outcome, you may inadvertently limit the ways in which your desire can come to you. The universe has a far greater intelligence than the human mind can comprehend, and it often delivers our desires in ways that are far better than we could have imagined. But in order to receive these blessings, we must be willing to let go of our rigid expectations and trust in the process. Living in the end also requires you to let go of doubt. Doubt is the enemy of creation. It is the voice that whispers, "What if it doesn't happen? What if I fail? What if I'm fail?" These doubts can be insidious, and if left unchecked, they can sabotage your ability to manifest your desires. The moment you allow doubt to take root in your mind, you begin to waver in your assumption that your wish is already fulfilled. Doubt creates resistance, and resistance slows down the process of manifestation. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it is growing. The seed needs time to germinate and to develop roots beneath the surface. In the same way, your desires need time to unfold in the physical world. When you live in the end, you are trusting that the seed you have planted in your imagination is growing, even if you cannot yet see the results. Gratitude also serves as a reminder that you are always supported by the universe. Even in moments of doubt or uncertainty, there is always something to be grateful for. Whether it's the love of a friend, the beauty of nature, or the simple fact that you are alive and breathing, there is always a reason to give thanks. When you focus on these blessings, you strengthen your faith in the goodness of life and in the power of the universe to bring your desires to fruition. Living in the end is not about pretending that everything is perfect or ignoring the challenges you may face along the way. It is about maintaining a state of inner fulfillment, regardless of external circumstances. It is about holding on to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of adversity. This does not mean that you will never experience moments of doubt, frustration, or fear. These emotions are a natural part of the human experience. But when you live in the end, you learn to navigate these emotions with grace and resilience. When challenges arise, instead of reacting with fear or despair, you can use them as opportunities to strengthen your faith. Every challenge is an invitation to return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is a reminder to hold on to your inner vision, even when the outer world seems to be in chaos. This is the true test of living in the end. Can you remain faithful to your assumption, even when everything around you suggests otherwise? Can you hold on to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the midst of uncertainty? The more you practice living in the end, the more you will realize that external circumstances have no power over you. You are the creator of your reality, and your inner state determines what you experience. This realization gives you a sense of peace and empowerment, because you no longer feel at the mercy of the world around you. You understand that no matter what happens, you have the ability to create the life you desire from within. Living in the end also requires you to let go of the need for approval or validation from others. Often when we set out to create something new in our lives, we seek the approval of those around us. We want others to confirm that we are on the right path, that our desires are valid, and that we are worthy of achieving them. But this need for external validation can be a trap. It can cause us to doubt ourselves and to question our desires. The truth is, no one else can validate your desires for you. Only you know what is true for you. Only you can decide what you want to create in your life. When you live in the end, you are no longer seeking approval from others, because you have already given yourself permission to have what you desire. You have already claimed it as yours, and you no longer need anyone else's validation to affirm that truth. This does not mean that you should ignore the opinions of others or isolate yourself from the world. It simply means that you are no longer dependent on others for your sense of worth or for confirmation that you are on the right path. You trust yourself and your inner knowing. You trust that your desires are valid and that you are worthy of having them. When you live in the end, you are living from a place of self-assurance and inner confidence. Another important aspect of living in the end is embracing the present moment. Often when we are focused on manifesting our desires, we become so fixated on the future that we forget to appreciate the present. We become consumed with the idea of getting to the next step, the next goal, the next manifestation. But the present moment is where all of your power lies. It is in the present that you create your reality. When you live in the end, you are not waiting for the future to bring you happiness or fulfillment. You are experiencing those feelings right now, in the present moment. You are allowing yourself to feel the joy, the peace, and the satisfaction of your wish fulfilled, even before it has materialized in the physical world. This is the key to manifestation. You must feel it now in order to experience it later. The present moment is also where you have the opportunity to practice gratitude, to nurture your inner vision, and to align yourself with the energy of your desired reality. Every moment is an opportunity to reaffirm your assumption that your wish is already fulfilled. Every moment is an opportunity to embody the feeling of your desired state. When you live in the end, you are no longer living for some distant future. You are living in the fullness of the present. It's also important to understand that living in the end is not about forcing things to happen. It's not about trying to control every detail of your life or manipulating circumstances to fit your desires. True creation comes from a place of flow and ease. When you live in the end, you are not pushing against the current. You are allowing the natural flow of life to carry you toward your desire. You are trusting in the process, knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect timing. Forcing things to happen only creates resistance. It sends a signal to the universe that you don't believe your desire is already yours, and as a result, it pushes your desire further away. When you live in the end, you are not trying to make things happen. You are allowing them to happen. You are creating a space of openness and receptivity, where the universe can deliver your desire in the most harmonious and effortless way. This does not mean that you should sit back and do nothing. Action is an important part of the creation process, but it is inspired action that flows from a place of inner alignment. When you are living in the end, the actions you take are not driven by fear, desperation, or lack. They are inspired by the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You take action not because you need to make something happen, but because you are so aligned with your desired reality that the actions flow naturally from that state of being. Inspired action feels different from forced action. It feels effortless, joyful, and in alignment with your true self. It comes from a place of inner knowing rather than from a place of fear or scarcity. When you live in the end, you are attuned to this inner guidance and you allow it to lead you toward the fulfillment of your desire. Living in the end is a practice. It is a daily commitment to align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you wish to create. It is a way of being, not just a technique. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, living in the end becomes your default state of being, and you find yourself effortlessly attracting the people, circumstances, and opportunities that are in alignment with your desires. Living in the end is a practice that fundamentally reshapes the way we approach life and our desires. At its core, it is about embodying the truth that what you want already exists. It is not something that lies in the distant future, waiting to be obtained through struggle or effort. Instead, it is a state that is within your reach at every moment, ready to be claimed simply by aligning your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with the reality of its fulfillment. One of the most powerful aspects of living in the end is the realization that you are not separate from your desires. Often people think of their desires as something external, something out there that they must work hard to achieve or attain. But in truth, your desires are an extension of you. They originate from within, and as such, they are already a part of your reality. The separation between you and your desires is an illusion created by the mind, reinforced by societal conditioning that emphasizes hard work, struggle, and linear progress toward goals. Living in the end dissolves this illusion of separation. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are merging with the energy of your desire. You are no longer perceiving it as something outside of you, but as something that is already an integral part of your life. This shift in perspective is crucial because it allows you to bypass the limitations of the logical mind, which often tries to rationalize why something is impossible or difficult to achieve. By living in the end, you are stepping into a state of being where you no longer question the possibility of your desire, you simply accept it as fact. This brings us to the importance of inner dialogue. Your inner dialogue, the constant stream of thoughts that runs through your mind, is one of the most powerful tools in shaping your reality. Whether you realize it or not, your thoughts are continuously creating your experience. Every time you think about your desires, whether positively or negatively, you are influencing their manifestation. Therefore, it is essential to become aware of your inner dialogue and to consciously direct it in a way that aligns with the reality you wish to create. When you live in the end, your inner dialogue should reflect the certainty that your desire is already fulfilled. Instead of thinking thoughts like, "I hope this happens," or "what if it doesn't work out?" You must think and speak as if your desire is already a part of your life. This means replacing doubt with affirmation, fear with faith, and lack with abundance. Your inner dialogue should be filled with statements like, "I am so grateful that this has already happened," or "I am living the life I've always dreamed of." At first, this may feel unnatural, especially if you are used to focusing on what is missing or lacking in your life. But with practice, this new way of thinking becomes second nature. The more you affirm the reality of your desire, the more your subconscious mind begins to accept it as truth. And as we know, the subconscious mind is the key to manifestation. Once a belief is accepted by the subconscious, it begins to shape your external reality in ways that may seem miraculous. It is also important to note that your inner dialogue does not have to be limited to words. In fact, one of the most effective ways to live in the end is through the power of visualization. Visualization is a form of mental rehearsal in which you imagine yourself experiencing your desired reality in vivid detail. When done correctly, visualization can evoke powerful emotions and sensations, which in turn strengthen your assumption that your wish is already fulfilled. When you visualize, it is important to engage all of your senses. Don't just see yourself living your desired reality, feel it, hear it, smell it, and even taste it. For example, if your desire is to live in your dream home, don't just picture yourself walking through the house, feel the texture of the floors beneath your feet, hear the sound of the wind rustling through the trees outside, smell the fresh paint on the walls, and taste the first meal you cook in your new kitchen. The more vividly you can imagine yourself living your desired reality, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. The key to successful visualization is to focus on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is not enough to simply see yourself achieving your desire, you must also feel the emotions associated with that achievement. These emotions are the fuel that powers the manifestation process. When you feel joy, excitement, gratitude, and satisfaction, you are vibrating at the frequency of your desired reality. This vibration is what attracts the people, opportunities, and circumstances that will bring your desire into physical form. Another important aspect of living in the end is the role of self-concept. Your self-concept is the mental image you hold of yourself, and it plays a crucial role in determining what you can and cannot achieve. If you see yourself as someone who is unworthy or incapable of achieving your desires, then no matter how much you try to live in the end, you will always encounter resistance. This is because your self-concept sets the boundaries of what you believe is possible for you. To truly live in the end, you must align your self-concept with the reality of your desire. This means seeing yourself as the person who already has what you want. If your desire is to be wealthy, then you must begin to see yourself as someone who is financially abundant. If your desire is to be in a loving relationship, then you must see yourself as someone who is worthy of love and companionship. Your self-concept must reflect the reality of your wish fulfilled. One way to shift your self-concept is through the use of affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce your desired self-image. When repeated consistently, affirmations help to reprogram your subconscious mind and align your self-concept with your desired reality. For example, if your desire is to be successful in your career, you might repeat affirmations like, "I am a successful and respected leader in my field," or "I attract lucrative opportunities and excel in everything I do." Over time, these affirmations will become ingrained in your subconscious, and you will begin to embody the qualities of the person you wish to become. Another powerful tool for shifting your self-concept is the practice of self-love. Self-love is the foundation upon which all manifestation is built. If you do not believe that you are worthy of having your desires, you will subconsciously sabotage your efforts to achieve them. Therefore, it is essential to cultivate a deep sense of love and appreciation for yourself. This means treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and respect, and letting go of any beliefs or patterns that undermine your sense of self-worth. When you love yourself unconditionally, you naturally attract experiences that reflect that love. You no longer settle for less than you deserve, and you no longer tolerate situations or relationships that do not align with your highest good. Self-love empowers you to live in the end with confidence and certainty, because you know that you are deserving of everything you desire. It is also important to understand that living in the end does not mean denying the present moment. While it is true that you are focused on the feeling of your wish fulfilled, this does not mean that you should ignore or resist your current circumstances. In fact, one of the most powerful aspects of living in the end is the ability to embrace the present moment while simultaneously holding the vision of your desired future. The present moment is always perfect, even when it does not appear to be. Every experience you have, every challenge you face, is part of the process of bringing your desires into physical form. When you resist the present moment, you create unnecessary suffering and delay the manifestation of your desires. But when you accept the present moment as it is, without judgment or resistance, you allow the natural flow of life to carry you toward your desired reality. Living in the end also requires patience. The physical world operates on a different timeline than the inner world of imagination, and sometimes it takes time for your desires to manifest. This is not because the universe is withholding your desires, but because there are unseen factors at play that must align in order for your wish to come into physical form. During this time, it is important to remain steadfast in your assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, even if you cannot yet see the results. Patience does not mean passivity. It does not mean sitting idly by and waiting for things to happen. Instead, patience is an active state of trust and faith. It means continuing to live in the end, even when the external world seems to suggest otherwise. It means taking inspired action from a place of alignment, rather than from a place of fear or desperation. And most importantly, it means enjoying the journey, knowing that the destination is already yours. As you continue to live in the end, you will notice subtle shifts in your reality. You may begin to encounter synchronicities, chance encounters, or unexpected opportunities that seem to align perfectly with your desires. These are signs that your wish is in the process of manifesting, and they serve as encouragement to continue living in the end. However, it is important not to become too attached to these signs. While they are a positive indication that your desire is on its way, the true measure of success is your inner state of being. Ultimately, living in the end is about cultivating a sense of inner fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. It is about recognizing that everything you desire already exists within you, and that you have the power to bring it into physical form through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. It is about embracing the truth that you are the creator of your reality, and that you have the ability to manifest your desires with ease and grace. The journey of living in the end is one of self-discovery, empowerment, and joy. It is a journey that invites you to explore the limitless potential of your imagination and to step into the fullness of who you truly are. As you continue to live in the end, you will come to realize that the external world is merely a reflection of your inner state. When you change your inner world, your outer world changes in response. So embrace the practice of living in the end. Make it a daily commitment to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and to embody that state in every aspect of your life. Trust in the power of your imagination and know that you are always in control of your reality. In conclusion, living in the end is a transformative practice that empowers you to step into the reality you desire, not by waiting for external circumstances to change, but by aligning your inner world with the fulfillment of your wishes. It requires you to shift your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, and from doubt to certainty. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and embodying that state in your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you create the conditions for your desires to manifest effortlessly. This process is not about forcing or controlling outcomes, but about trusting in the power of your imagination and the natural flow of life. As you cultivate the practice of living in the end, you will discover that your outer world begins to mirror your inner state of being. You will attract the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires, and your life will unfold in ways that exceed your expectations. Remember, the key to living in the end is to maintain an unwavering belief in the reality of your desire, even when the physical world suggests otherwise. Stay patient, stay focused, and stay connected to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. In doing so, you will unlock the infinite potential within you and realize that everything you seek is already yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that the power to transform your mind and consequently your life lies within you. It has always been there, waiting to be awakened and harnessed. Let us begin by understanding what it means to be mentally strong. It is not merely the absence of weakness or the ability to endure hardship. No, mental strength is far more profound. It is the capacity to shape your reality with the power of your imagination and belief. It is the unwavering faith in the law that states, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is it. You see, my dear friends, the world you experience is nothing more than an outward projection of your inner state. Your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create the fabric of your reality. Therefore, to become mentally strong is to gain mastery over your inner world, to cultivate a mind that is aligned with your deepest desires and highest aspirations. Now you might be wondering, how do I achieve this mental strength? The answer, I assure you, is simpler than you might think. Yet it requires dedication and practice. The first step is to recognize the immense power of your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty meant for idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop where you forge your destiny. Neville Goddard once said, man's imagination is God's redemptive power in man. This statement encapsulates a profound truth that your imagination is the key to transforming your life. When you learn to use your imagination deliberately and consistently, you tap into a power that can move mountains, part seas, and reshape your entire existence. But how does one use imagination effectively? The secret lies in what I call living in the end. This means that you must imagine and feel the reality of your desire as if it were already accomplished. You must step into the state of the wish fulfilled, embodying the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs of the person who has already achieved what you desire. Let me give you an example. Suppose you wish to become more confident and assertive. Instead of focusing on your current state of timidity or self-doubt, you would imagine yourself as the confident and assertive person you wish to be. You would feel the satisfaction, the peace, and the certainty that comes with being that person. You would walk, talk, and carry yourself as if you were already the embodiment of confidence and assertiveness. This practice of living in the end is not mere positive thinking or affirmation. It is a profound psychological and spiritual exercise that aligns your entire being with your desired state. As you persist in this practice, you will find that your outer world begins to conform to your inner vision. This is the law of assumption at work. What you assume to be true becomes true in your experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I imagine something that seems so far from my current reality? This is where mental strength truly comes into play. It requires discipline and persistence to hold on to your vision in the face of contrary evidence. It demands that you trust in the unseen reality of your imagination more than the apparent facts of your physical senses. Remember, my friends, that what you see in the world around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of past thoughts and beliefs. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the past. But at this very moment, you have the power to plant new seeds, to imagine a new reality to being. This is the essence of mental strength. The ability to hold steadfast to your vision, regardless of present circumstances. Let us delve deeper into this concept. The world you see is Maya, illusion. It is a shadow play, a reflection of your consciousness. When you truly grasp this truth, you will understand that to change your world, you need only change your consciousness. This is where the practice of revision becomes invaluable. Revision is the art of reimagining past events in a way that aligns with your desires. If you have experienced failure or disappointment, instead of dwelling on these experiences and reinforcing them in your consciousness, you can revise them. Imagine how you would have preferred the situation to unfold. Feel the joy and satisfaction of this revised scenario as if it had actually happened. This practice of revision is not about denying reality or living in fantasy. It is about understanding the fluid nature of time and memory and using this understanding to your advantage. By revising the past in your imagination, you alter the trajectory of your future. You plant new seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, seeds that will inevitably sprout and bear fruit in your experience. As you engage in these practices, living in the end and revision, you will begin to notice a shift in your mental state. You will find yourself becoming more resilient, more optimistic, more certain of your power to shape your reality. This is mental strength in action. It is the ability to maintain a positive and purposeful state of mind, regardless of external circumstances. But let me be clear, my dear friends. Mental strength is not about forcing things to happen through sheer willpower. It is not about struggling against the current of life. Rather, it is about aligning yourself with the natural flow of creation. It is about understanding and applying the laws that govern the universe. One of these fundamental laws is the law of assumption. This law states that whatever you assume to be true will be manifested in your reality. Your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, shape your world. Therefore, to become mentally strong, you must become aware of your assumptions and learn to consciously choose those that serve your highest good. For instance, if you assume that life is a struggle and that success is hard to come by, you will experience a reality that confirms these assumptions. On the other hand, if you assume that life is abundant and that success comes easily to you, your experience will reflect these beliefs. The key is to become aware of your assumptions and to deliberately choose those that align with your desires. This process of becoming aware of it, changing your assumptions, requires mental discipline. It demands that you become the watchman at the gate of your mind, carefully monitoring the thoughts and beliefs you allow to take root in your consciousness. This vigilance is a hallmark of mental strength. Now, you might be wondering, how do I change deeply ingrained assumptions and beliefs? The answer lies in the practice of what I call the law of reversibility. This law states that while feelings follow thoughts, thoughts also follow feelings. In other words, by deliberately inducing the feeling state associated with your desire, you can evoke thoughts and assumptions that align with that state. Let me explain this further. Suppose you want to cultivate an assumption of abundance. Instead of trying to force yourself to think abundant thoughts, you would induce the feeling of abundance. You would imagine what it feels like to be abundantly supplied in all areas of your life. As you persist in this feeling, you will find that thoughts of lack and scarcity naturally fall away, replaced by thoughts and assumptions of abundance. This practice of inducing feeling states is a powerful tool for mental strength. It allows you to bypass the resistance of your rational mind and directly influence your subconscious, where your deepest beliefs and assumptions reside. As you master this technique, you will find yourself becoming more adept at shaping your mental state at will. But remember, my friends, mental strength is not about suppressing or denying negative emotions. It is about understanding the transient nature of all emotional states and learning to navigate them skillfully. When challenging emotions arise, acknowledge them, but do not identify with them. See them as passing clouds in the vast sky of your consciousness. This ability to observe your emotions without being consumed by them is a crucial aspect of mental strength. It allows you to maintain your chosen state of consciousness even in the face of adversity. It enables you to respond to life's challenges from a place of clarity and purpose rather than reacting from a place of fear or anger. As you cultivate this observational stance, you will begin to notice the gap between stimulus and response. In this gap lies your power to choose your reaction. This is where true freedom resides. As you become more aware of this gap, you will find yourself becoming less reactive and more responsive to life's events. Now, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength: the power of your self-talk. The conversations you have with yourself shape your reality in profound ways. Therefore, to become mentally strong, you must become acutely aware of your inner dialogue and learn to direct it consciously. Many people unconsciously engage in negative self-talk, constantly criticizing themselves and reinforcing limiting beliefs. This negative self-talk is like a poison that corrupts your mental and emotional state. To counteract this, you must learn to speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement. But it's not enough to simply replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. You must go deeper. You must speak to yourself from the perspective of your ideal self, the version of you that has already achieved what you desire. This is not about deceiving yourself, but about aligning your inner dialogue with your highest vision for yourself. For instance, instead of saying, "I hope I can become more confident," you would say, "I am confident and self-assured in all situations." Instead of saying, "I'll try to be more successful," you would say, "I am successful in all my endeavors." This shift in language might seem subtle, but its effects are profound. It aligns your conscious mind with your subconscious, creating a powerful synergy that propels you towards your goals. Remember, my dear friends, the words you speak to yourself are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Choose these words carefully, for they will grow and bear fruit in your experience. This conscious use of language is a hallmark of mental strength. Now let us delve into another crucial aspect of mental strength: the power of focus. Your ability to direct and sustain your attention is a key determinant of your mental state and, consequently, your life experience. In a world filled with distractions, the capacity to focus your mind is more valuable than ever. But what should you focus on? The answer is simple yet profound. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. This might seem obvious, but many people spend their mental energy dwelling on their problems, fears, and limitations. They focus on what's wrong in their lives rather than on what they wish to create. Remember, my friends, energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you consistently focus on will expand in your experience. Therefore, to become mentally strong, you must train your mind to dwell on your desired outcomes, on the life you wish to create, on the person you aspire to be. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or challenges when they arise. It means approaching them from a solution-oriented mindset. Instead of fixating on the problem, focus your attention on finding a solution. Ask yourself empowering questions like, how can I turn this situation to my advantage? Or what opportunity for growth does this challenge present? As you cultivate this habit of focused attention, you will find your mental strength growing. You will become less reactive to external circumstances and more proactive in shaping your reality. You will develop a sense of inner calm and certainty that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and poise. Now, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength: the power of persistence. The ability to persist in your chosen course of action despite obstacles and setbacks is a hallmark of a strong mind. It is easy to maintain a positive mental state when things are going well. The true test of mental strength comes when you face adversity. Persistence doesn't mean stubbornly pushing against immovable obstacles. It means maintaining your faith in your vision even when the external evidence seems to contradict it. It means holding fast to your assumption of success even when temporary failures occur. It means continuing to live in the end, to feel the reality of your desire, even when your current circumstances seem far removed from your goal. Remember, my dear friends, that manifestation is not always instantaneous. There's often a time lag between the conception of a desire in your imagination and its appearance in your physical reality. This time lag is a test of your faith and persistence. Those who can maintain their chosen state of consciousness, regardless of external circumstances, are the ones who ultimately succeed in bringing their desires into manifestation. Think of it this way. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check its progress. You trust in the natural process of growth. You continue to water and nurture the soil, knowing that in due time the seed will sprout and grow into a plant. The same principle applies to the seeds of your desires, planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Your job is to continue nurturing these seeds through your imagination and feeling. Trust in the law, knowing that what you have planted must inevitably come to fruition. This unwavering faith, this persistent holding to your vision, is a powerful demonstration of mental strength. Now, let us explore another crucial aspect of mental strength: the power of detachment. This might seem paradoxical at first. How can detachment contribute to mental strength? Isn't it important to be passionate and committed to our goals? The truth is, detachment is not about lack of desire or commitment. It's about releasing the anxiety and desperation that often accompany intense wanting. When you are overly attached to a specific outcome, you create resistance. You become tense and fearful, constantly worrying about whether or not your desire will manifest. True mental strength comes from a place of calm certainty. It's the ability to desire something deeply, to work towards it consistently, while simultaneously trusting in the perfect unfolding of events. It's knowing that whether or not a particular desire manifests, you are whole and complete as you are. This state of detachment allows you to remain centered and balanced, regardless of external circumstances. It enables you to enjoy the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. It frees you from the emotional roller coaster of elation and despair that comes with attachment to outcomes. To cultivate this detachment, practice surrendering your desires to your higher self, to the divine within you. After you have done your part, living in the end, feeling the reality of your desire, trust the infinite intelligence of the universe, will bring about the best possible outcome in the best possible way at the best possible time. This surrender is not passive resignation. It is active trust. It is the recognition that while you have the power to shape your reality through your imagination and assumption, the exact manner and timing of manifestation is not always under your conscious control. This balance of active creation and surrender is a hallmark of true mental strength. Now, my dear friends, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength, the power of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions in service of your higher goals. It is the bridge between your intentions and your results. Many people mistakenly believe that self-discipline is about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. But true self-discipline comes from a deep alignment with your highest vision for yourself. When you are clear about what you truly want, when you can feel the reality of your desire, self-discipline becomes natural and effortless. For instance, if you truly embody the state of being a successful and productive person, you will naturally engage in behaviors that support this state. You won't need to force yourself to work hard or to manage your time effectively. These behaviors will flow naturally from your assumed state of being. This is why the practice of living in the end is so powerful. By consistently assuming the state of your wish fulfilled, you naturally align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that state. This alignment is the essence of self-discipline. However, this doesn't mean that you won't face challenges or moments of weakness. Mental strength is not about never experiencing doubt or fear. It's about how you respond to these experiences when they arise. It's about your ability to return to your chosen state of consciousness, even after temporary lapses. This is where the practice of revision becomes invaluable. If you find yourself slipping into old patterns of thought or behavior, don't berate yourself. Instead, revise the experience of your imagination. See yourself responding in a way that aligns with your highest vision for yourself. Feel the satisfaction and pride of having demonstrated self-discipline and mental strength. As you persist in this practice, you will find your capacity for self-discipline growing. You will become more consistent in your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This consistency is a powerful manifestation of mental strength. Now let us explore another crucial aspect of mental strength, the power of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite social convention. It is a powerful state of consciousness that can transform your entire life experience. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you align yourself with the abundance of the universe. You shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. This shift in focus changes your entire vibration, making you a magnet for more positive experiences. But gratitude is not just about being thankful for the good things in your life. True mental strength comes from the ability to find something to be grateful for in every situation, even those that appear challenging or unpleasant on the surface. Remember, my friends, every experience, every circumstance contains within it the seed of an equivalent greater benefit. When you can maintain an attitude of gratitude, even in the face of apparent adversity, you demonstrate true mental strength. Moreover, gratitude is a powerful antidote to fear and anxiety. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you cannot simultaneously focus on what you fear. This is why the practice of gratitude is so effective in building mental resilience. I encourage you to make gratitude a daily practice. Each day, take time to reflect on the things you're grateful for. Feel the emotion of gratitude deeply. Let it permeate your entire being. As you do this consistently, you will find your mental state becoming more positive and resilient. Now, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength, the power of forgiveness. Many people carry the weight of past hurts and resentments, not realizing how much these negative emotions drain their mental and emotional energy.
The morning rises with the promise of God's unfailing protection and love. As the day unfolds, our hearts are reminded of the words of Psalm 91, a sacred declaration of God's covenant with those who dwell in His presence. When you start your day, let this truth fill your soul. He who abides under the shadow of the Almighty is shielded from every harm. and surrounded by divine refuge. This is not just a promise written in ancient scripture, it is a living reality for those who place their trust in Him. This prayer is not merely a recitation of words, but a proclamation of faith, an alignment of your spirit with the unshakable authority of the Most High. When you declare, "The Lord is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust," you are shifting the atmosphere around you. You are inviting the power of heaven to govern your day, your decisions, and your destiny. Fear, anxiety is banished when you stand boldly in the confidence of God's protection. As you journey through the hours ahead, the angels of God have been assigned to guard you. They encamp around you, bearing you up in their hands so you will not stumble or fall. Every step you take has already been secured by the one who holds the universe in His hands. When you face challenges, remember that you do not walk alone. When the path seems uncertain, know that He has already gone before you, leveling the mountains and making crooked places straight. No pestilence, no danger, no enemy can touch those who are hidden in the secret place of the Most High. The arrows that fly by day and the terrors that stalk by night are powerless against those who call upon His name. This is your inheritance, a divine covering that shields you from the seen and unseen. Trust in this promise, not as a fleeting hope, but as an eternal truth that cannot be shaken. Today you are empowered to walk in boldness, knowing that God's faithfulness is your armor. The trap set by the enemy will not ensnare you because His truth is your shield. You are more than a conqueror because you rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Whatever comes your way, speak the words of Psalm 91 over your life. Let them rise like incense to heaven, a fragrant declaration of your unwavering trust in the one who reigns forever. In this moment, choose to dwell in His presence. Make Him your habitation, and you will see His hand at work in every area of your life. No matter the noise of the world, no matter the storms that may rage, you are safe, you are secure, and you are deeply loved. The secret place of the Most High is not a physical location. It is a spiritual dwelling where you remain anchored in God's presence. It is where your soul finds peace, even in the midst of chaos. To abide under the shadow of the Almighty is to live with the assurance that no force on earth or in the heavens can separate you from His love and protection. This is not an occasional visit, it is a continuous posture of trust, surrender, and dependence. Every morning when you rise, make it your priority to step into that sacred space, for it is there that you are empowered to face the day with courage and confidence. When you declare Psalm 91 over your life, you activate a spiritual covering that goes beyond human understanding. It is not a passive act, but a bold statement of faith that aligns your life with God's promises. The words, "Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence," are not mere poetry. They are the reality of a God who actively intervenes on behalf of those who trust Him. The snares of life, temptations, distractions, and dangers cannot hold you when you are covered by His hand. The pestilence, whether physical sickness or emotional turmoil, must bow to the authority of the Almighty. You are not left to fend for yourself in this world. God's protection is comprehensive, surrounding you like a fortress. His truth becomes your shield and buckler, a defense that no enemy can penetrate. Imagine a shield so impenetrable that no arrow, no weapon, no attack can harm you. This is what it means to trust in His truth. His promises are not just words written in ancient texts. They are alive, active, and ready to manifest in your life. And each time you declare His word, you are reinforcing that shield, making it stronger, more unyielding to the attacks of the enemy. As you go through the day, the noise of the world may try to distract you. The demands of life may feel overwhelming. But remember that you are not walking this journey alone. God has dispatched His angels to encamp around you. These heavenly messengers are not idle. They are actively watching over you, ensuring that you are protected from harm. They lift you up in their hands, preventing even the smallest mistake. This divine assistance is not reserved for a select few. It is available to all who trust in the Lord. When you feel weak or uncertain, remind yourself that an army of angels surrounds you, ready to act on your behalf. The arrows that fly by day and the terrors that come by night are symbolic of the challenges and fears that seek to destabilize you. These may come in the form of doubt, fear, or adversity, but they hold no power over you when you are anchored in God's promises. You do not have to live in fear of the unknown because your God is all-knowing and all-powerful. He sees what lies ahead and prepares the way for you even when the path seems dark. His light will guide you, and His presence will comfort you. Psalm 91 speaks of 1,000 falling at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, yet it will not come near you. This is a profound assurance that no matter what happens around you, you are divinely protected. The chaos of the world may swirl, but you are hidden in the secret place, untouched by the storms. This does not mean that challenges will not come, but it does mean that they will not overcome you. You are more than a survivor, you are a victor, because the Almighty fights on your behalf. Every battle you face is already won in His name. When you love God, when you set your heart upon Him, He responds with unwavering faithfulness. Psalm 91 declares that because you have made Him your refuge, He will deliver you and honor you. This is the beauty of a relationship with the Creator. It is reciprocal. As you draw near to Him, He draws near to you. His deliverance is swift, His protection unfailing, and His love unconditional. You may encounter seasons of difficulty, moments when it feels like the world is closing in on you. In those times, let this prayer be your anchor. Declare with boldness that you will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. Fear has no place in the heart of one who trusts in the Lord. Faith is your weapon, and His word is your shield. With every declaration of Psalm 91, you are building a fortress of faith that cannot be shaken. God's promises are not limited to your physical safety. They extend to every area of your life. He promises to satisfy you with long life and show you His salvation. This is not just about the number of years you live, but the quality of life you experience. A life filled with His peace, His joy, and His presence. Every morning when you recite this prayer, you are inviting His abundant life to flow through you. You are choosing to walk in the fullness of His blessings, knowing that He withholds no good thing from those who walk uprightly. The secret place is where your strength is renewed, where your faith is fortified, and where your perspective is aligned with heaven. It is where you are reminded that you are not just a part of the world's systems, but a citizen of God's kingdom. In that place, the noise of the world fades and the voice of God becomes clear. You are reminded of who you are, a child of the Most High, called, chosen, and protected. Each morning, as the sun rises and casts its light on the earth, let your soul be reminded of the light of God's love that shines upon you. Just as the sun is faithful to rise, so is God faithful to keep His promises. Trust in His word, rest in His presence, and walk through the day with the confidence that you are covered by the shadow of the Almighty. This is your inheritance, your assurance, and your unwavering truth. When you speak the words of Psalm 91 over your life, you are not simply reciting a prayer, you are activating the promises of God in your life. These words are a declaration of your trust in the Creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who holds your destiny in His hands. He is not distant or far away. He is close, and He is deeply invested in your well-being. As you begin each day, it is vital to understand that your prayer is more than just an exercise. As you understand that I am a mind, the honor of human beings, greater your thoughts, greater your words, greater your destinies than your prayers or mine. It is an invitation for God's divine intervention to move in every circumstance, to protect you from unseen dangers, and to order your steps according to His purpose. This is the foundation of the life you are called to live, one that is marked by His presence, His protection, and His favor. Your faith becomes the vessel through which God's promises are made manifest in your life. To trust in Him is to believe in His ability to do what He has said He will do. Psalm 91 serves as a reminder that God is your refuge and fortress, an unshakable stronghold that cannot be penetrated by the forces of evil or destruction. It is a fortress that stands firm when everything else crumbles, a place where no weapon formed against you can prosper. When the world offers only uncertainty, your trust in God offers you the solid ground you need to stand firm. The nature of God's protection goes beyond the physical realm. His covering encompasses your mind, your emotions, your relationships, and your purpose. As you meditate on Psalm 91, you are reminded that His protection is all-encompassing, surrounding every aspect of your life with His divine presence. You are safeguarded from emotional trauma, protected from the weight of worry, and shielded from the spiritual attacks that attempt to weaken your faith. He delivers you from fear, anxiety, and doubt, for His perfect love casts out all fear. The more you dwell in His presence, the more His perfect peace fills your heart and mind, guarding you from the unsettling thoughts that try to steal your joy. When you are surrounded by the challenges of life, remember that you are not alone. The psalmist speaks of the divine assurance that comes with knowing that God's angels are watching over you. Their assignment is clear: to guard you in all your ways. Imagine this: angels, heavenly beings with divine power, are positioned around you, protecting you from the snares of the enemy. Their role is to ensure that you do not stumble or fall, to lift you up when the burdens of life threaten to overwhelm you. This divine intervention is not a distant hope, but a present reality. The angels of God are actively at work in your life, safeguarding you from dangers seen and unseen. Every day presents new opportunities and challenges, but when you are under the protection of God, you do not face them alone. He has equipped you with everything you need to succeed, and the first step in walking in that divine power is to align yourself with His will. Psalm 91 makes it clear that those who make the Lord their refuge and fortress will. When you make God your dwelling place, you are assured of His constant presence, His unwavering protection, and His favor that rests upon you. This divine covering is a promise you can stand on regardless of what comes your way. It is not a promise for the occasional believer. It is a promise for those who consistently choose to trust in God and remain in His presence. No matter how the world may shift or change, God's protection is not dependent on circumstances. His faithfulness is eternal and His promises are unbreakable. Psalm 91 assures you that you are not at the mercy of the world's systems, the economy, or the uncertainties of life. You are under the sovereign rule of God, who holds the universe in His hands. The trials of life may come, but they will not overwhelm you because you are covered by the Most High. You are shielded from the dangers that may seem insurmountable to others, because your trust is in the One who can move mountains and calm the storms. The scripture also speaks of the peace that comes with knowing that God is your refuge. When you trust in Him, you are not moved by the fear and chaos that surround you. In the midst of turmoil, you remain steadfast, confident in the knowledge that God is your protector. His presence brings a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that remains even when the world is in turmoil. This peace is not fleeting or temporary. It is an eternal peace that comes from knowing that God is in control. His peace guards your heart and mind, protecting you from the stresses and pressures that seek to overwhelm you. As you declare the promises of Psalm 91 over your life, understand that this is an act of spiritual warfare. You are not simply speaking empty words. You are confronting the forces of darkness with the truth of God's word. You are declaring that you will not be swayed by the lies of the enemy, that you will not give in to fear or doubt. Instead, you stand firm on the truth that God is your refuge, your fortress, and your deliverer. This is not a passive stance. It is an active declaration of your faith and trust in God's ability to protect and provide for you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for you to stand firm in God's promises. When you encounter obstacles, remind yourself that God has already provided a way for you to overcome them. He is not a God who abandons His people. He is a God who delivers. His word declares that He will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. No matter what you are facing, His promises are sure, and He will deliver you from every danger. One of the most powerful aspects of Psalm 91 is the promise that no harm will come near you. While the world may be filled with uncertainties, your safety is guaranteed in God's presence. This is a divine assurance that cannot be shaken. No matter the circumstances, you are safe in His care. The storms may rage, the battles may intensify, but nothing can separate you from the love and protection of God. He is your fortress, your safe haven, your place of refuge. It is essential to recognize that the protection promised in Psalm 91 is not just for physical safety, but for spiritual well-being. When you make God your refuge, you are safe from the spiritual attacks that seek to weaken your faith and hinder your progress. The enemy will try to sow seeds of doubt, fear, and confusion. You are surrounded by a shield of faith, a defense that the enemy cannot penetrate. In the midst of life's challenges, it is easy to become discouraged or overwhelmed. But when you meditate on Psalm 91, you are reminded of God's faithfulness. He is not a distant God who leaves His people to face the trials of life alone. He is actively engaged in your life, working on your behalf to ensure your safety, your success, and your well-being. You are not alone, and you never will be. His love is an ever-present shield that surrounds you at all times. When you declare Psalm 91, you are not just seeking protection from harm, you are inviting God's divine purpose into your life. You are saying, Lord, I trust you with my future. I place my life in your hands, and I believe that you will guide me, protect me, and fulfill the purpose you have for me. This is the prayer of a heart fully surrendered to God's will. It is a prayer that declares your confidence in His ability to lead you, provide for you, and deliver you from every danger. Your faith is the key that unlocks the power of Psalm 91. It is not enough to simply recite the words. You must believe them with all your heart. When you believe in God's promises, you activate them in your life. You position yourself to receive the fullness of His protection, His guidance, and His blessings. This is the life you are called to live, a life marked by God's presence, His provision, and His protection. Psalm 91 serves as a spiritual armor that shields you from the darts of the enemy and the hardships of life. It is a declaration that you are not vulnerable to the whims of chance or fate, but rather that you are secured in the hands of the Almighty, whose love and care never fail. The verse reminds you that even when situations seem impossible, God is not far away. He is right there beside you, guiding you, protecting you, and strengthening you. Nevertheless, this little book will save you from the lament of imaginary evil and give you counsel from the life of God's Son. It is not a matter of whether the storms will come. They will come. But it is a matter of knowing that no storm can defeat you when you are hidden in the shelter of the Most High. Each day is an opportunity to declare that you are walking in the fullness of God's protection and divine favor. No matter what challenges arise, whether personal, relational, or financial, God promises to keep you secure. When you take hold of Psalm 91, you are speaking the truth over your life, that you are surrounded by a hedge of divine protection. You are not just enduring the trials, you are being empowered to overcome them by the strength of God Himself. It's easy to feel small and insignificant in a world that is often filled with noise, distractions, and struggles. But when you declare Psalm 91, you are acknowledging the greatness of God and the covenant He has made with you. God has not forgotten you, nor has He left you to fend for yourself. He has promised to be your refuge, your fortress, your deliverer, and your protector. When you take refuge in Him, you are saying, I trust in the God who has the power to protect me and make a way for me even when I see no way. His protection doesn't depend on your circumstances. It is guaranteed by His covenant with you. There are times in life when we can feel overwhelmed by fear, when it seems like the world is against us, when challenges appear insurmountable. But the Word of God reminds you that fear is not your portion. Psalm 91 invites you into a place where fear has no dominion. It is a place where the overwhelming peace of God rules, where His love displaces every fear, every anxious thought, and every moment of doubt. When you claim this psalm in the morning, you are standing on the promise that you are covered by the Almighty and nothing can harm you. Your confidence is not based on your strength or your abilities, but on the power of God to protect and deliver you. And as you trust in Him, you find that God is not just a passive protector, but an active participant in your life. The Psalm speaks of His angels being sent to guard you, to bear you up in their hands, so that you do not strike your foot against a stone. This is not just a metaphor for passive protection, but an active, dynamic presence in your life that works on your behalf. The angels are assigned to help you, to intervene when needed, and to keep you safe. They are on assignment for you, guarding you from dangers that you cannot even see, ensuring that your path is clear and free from obstacles. This understanding allows you to live boldly and with great confidence, for you know that God has not left you to face the difficulties of life alone. He has equipped you with every tool you need to overcome the enemy. He has given you His word, the power of prayer, and the backing of His heavenly hosts. When you declare Psalm 91 over your life, you are invoking the power of God's word, which is alive and active. It is not simply a prayer, it is a weapon that is able to tear down strongholds, dispel darkness, and shift the spiritual atmosphere around you. God's protection is not limited to a specific area of your life. His protection covers every aspect of your existence, from your health to your relationships, your finances to your purpose. He has promised to keep you safe. When the world tells you that your future is uncertain, God's word tells you that your future is secure in His hands. When people attempt to bring harm or deceit against you, Psalm 91 reminds you that the Lord is your protector and He will not allow the enemy's schemes to prosper. You are secure in His promises and His plans for you are good. It is essential to understand that Psalm 91 is not just for moments of crisis. It is a daily prayer that aligns your heart with the truth of God's protection, a daily declaration that you are walking in the favor of God. This is not a once-in-a-while declaration. This is a continual affirmation that your life is hidden in God. Each day is an opportunity to declare that you are covered by His protection, that you are safe in His care, and that you are walking in His purposes. This daily confession builds your faith, reminding you of God's constant provision and unbreakable promises. Many times in life you will face unexpected trials. You may find yourself in situations that seem impossible, situations where it feels as though the odds are stacked against you. But in those moments, Psalm 91 serves as your reminder that you are not alone. God's presence is with you, and His protection is sure. It is not enough to simply pray in times of crisis. You must live in a constant awareness of His presence, recognizing that every day is a gift, a day to be covered by His grace and favor. The enemy would have you believe that you are vulnerable, that you are alone, but the truth is that you are surrounded by the protection of a loving Father who will never leave you nor forsake you. Dana, this understanding empowers you to live with a sense of peace and confidence that the world cannot offer. It allows you to face challenges without fear, to step into the unknown with faith, and to trust that God will make a way when there seems to be no way. When you take Psalm 91 into your heart, you are embracing the reality of God's presence in your life. His angels are watching over you, His word is guiding you, and His promises are securing you. In the natural world, we often look for signs of safety and security. We seek insurance, protection plans, and safety nets, all in an effort to feel secure. But the psalmist calls us to a higher level of security. He calls us to trust in the one who holds the universe in His hands, the one who created the heavens and the earth, the one who formed you and knows you intimately. When you place your trust in God, you find that you are not reliant on temporary measures, but on an eternal refuge that will never fail. When you stand on the promises of Psalm 91, you are declaring that you are more than just a survivor, you are a conqueror. You are walking in the victory that has already been secured for you. The enemy may attempt to bring fear, doubt, and confusion into your life, but when you declare that God is your refuge and fortress, you are reaffirming your authority over the attacks of the enemy. His power has been broken, and your victory is secure in Christ. There is nothing more powerful than the assurance that God has your back. When you trust in His protection, you are living in the reality that His favor surrounds you like a shield. No harm, no danger, no attack can touch you without God's permission. And when God allows challenges to come your way, it is not because He has abandoned you, it is because He is preparing you for greater victories, teaching you to stand firm and trust in His provision, even in the midst of trials. The beauty of Psalm 91 lies in the promises it holds, promises that have been spoken over your life from the beginning of time. These are not empty words or distant hopes. They are a living truth that you can claim every day. As you walk in faith, declaring these promises over your life, you will see God's hand move in powerful ways. Protection. Your morning prayer, rooted in Psalm 91, becomes an anchor for your day. It becomes the foundation on which you stand, the shield that guards you, and the reminder of the one who is always with you. As you speak these words over your life, remember that you are not just hoping for protection, but you are declaring it. You are claiming it as your inheritance, not because of your goodness, but because of the faithfulness of the one who has promised to never leave you nor forsake you. So, this is the life you are called to live, a life fully protected, fully provided for, and fully secured in the hands of God. Living each day under the assurance of Psalm 91 is more than just a prayer of protection. It is a declaration of trust in the unshakable strength of God. This psalm holds the power to transform your perspective, to shape how you view the challenges of life, and to deepen your faith in the one who is always present and always faithful. The more you meditate on these promises, the more you begin to see that God's protection is not just something He does, it is who He is. He is your fortress, your shield, your refuge. He doesn't just protect you for a moment or for a season. He protects you always, eternally. This is the kind of protection that outlasts every storm, overcomes every obstacle, and holds you secure in times of uncertainty. As you wake each morning and declare the truth of Psalm 91 over your life, you are acknowledging that you are not in control of every circumstance, but that you are under the sovereign control of a loving Father. This is a humbling reality, recognizing that your security does not depend on your own strength, wisdom, or resources, but on the infinite power and love of God. When you understand that, you begin to live with a sense of peace that is beyond understanding, a peace that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, God has you covered. He is your refuge, your place of safety, and He will never leave you or forsake you. This reality is not just comforting, it is empowering. It gives you the courage to face each day, to face each challenge, and to keep moving forward with faith and determination. In a world that often feels unpredictable and unsafe, Psalm 91 offers you a constant. It is not a promise based on circumstances that may change, but on the unchanging nature of God. Your life is hidden in Christ, and nothing can touch you without His permission. The psalm speaks of God's protection, but it also speaks of His presence. The two are inseparable. The protection God offers is not distant or detached, it is deeply personal. He is not merely watching over you from afar, He is actively involved in your life, surrounding you with His love, His peace, and His strength. He is the one who knows every detail of your life, and He is the one who has promised to keep you safe. When you speak Psalm 91 in the morning, you are not just reciting words, you are making a declaration of faith. You are speaking the truth over your life, and in doing so you are aligning yourself with the divine will and purpose of God. There is power in your words, and when you speak the truth of God's promises, you are releasing that power into your life. You are declaring that you are not bound by fear, by doubt, or by the limitations of this world. You are free to walk in the victory that God has already secured for you. The enemy may try to come against you, but he cannot stand against the might of God. When you stand in His protection, you are standing in the victory that Jesus has already won. As you declare Psalm 91, remember that it is not just a shield from external danger, it is also a shield for your heart and mind. The enemy often seeks to attack your thoughts, to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and confusion. But when you speak God's promises over your life, you are not only protecting your physical body, but you are also protecting your mind and emotions. You are setting up a guard against the lies of the enemy. against the discouragement and anxiety that the world may try to impose upon you. The Word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword, and when you wield it, you are cutting through the lies and replacing them with. God's protection is not just about shielding you from harm. It is also about empowering you to live the life He has called you to live. When you walk in the awareness of God's protection, you are not walking in fear or hesitation, but in confidence and boldness. You are walking in the knowledge that you are secure in the arms of God, and nothing can take you out of His hand. This gives you the courage to step out into the unknown, to pursue the dreams and goals that God has placed in your heart, and to face any challenges that may come your way. The knowledge that you are protected by the Almighty doesn't just give you peace, it gives you purpose. You are not just surviving, you are thriving in the purpose that God has set before you. It is essential to understand that this protection is not a promise that life will always be easy or without difficulty. Challenges will come, but God's protection ensures that they will not overcome you. There will be moments when the enemy tries to bring fear, sickness, loss, or disappointment into your life. But even in those moments, God's presence is with you, and His promises remain true. When you stand on Psalm 91, you are not saying that there will be no battles, but you are declaring that no battle will defeat you. God has equipped you with everything you need to overcome, to endure, and to come out victorious. When you are under God's protection, you are not bound by the limitations of this world. You are free to walk in the fullness of who God has created you to be. You are free to dream big, to take risks, and to believe that God is with you every step of the way. His protection is not just a shield that keeps you safe, it is also a shield that empowers you to be who you are meant to be. You are not meant to live in fear, in passivity, or in survival mode. You are not meant to live in fear, in passivity, or in survival mode. You are meant to live boldly, confidently, and purposefully, knowing that God is with you and that He has called you for such a time as this. Psalm 91 also speaks of God's faithfulness. His faithfulness is not just an abstract concept, it is a personal reality. He has been faithful in the past and He will continue to be faithful in the future. When you look back on your life, you can see the ways in which God has protected you, provided for you. You can remember the times when you felt His presence in the midst of trials, when you saw His hand at work in your life, and when you experienced His love in ways that were beyond your understanding. This is the same God who is with you now, and the same God who will continue to be with you in the future. His faithfulness is not dependent on your circumstances, but on His unchanging nature. You can trust that God will always be faithful to His promises, and He will never leave you or forsake you. As you declare Psalm 91, you are also acknowledging that you are not just a passive recipient of God's protection, but an active participant in His plan for your life. God's protection does not remove your responsibility to act in faith, to walk in obedience, and to pursue His will. But it does give you the confidence that as you step out in faith, God is with you. You are never alone. The angels of the Lord are encamped around you, guarding you from harm. And God's word is a light to guide your path. You can walk forward, not with hesitation, but with boldness, knowing that the God who created the universe is the same God who is walking with you. When you understand the depth of God's protection and His faithfulness, you begin to live in a place of rest. This is not a rest of inactivity or complacency, but a rest of trust and confidence. You rest in the knowledge that God is in control, that He is working on your behalf, and that He will bring His plans to completion. You rest in the truth that He is your refuge and your fortress, and you don't have to strive or struggle to make things happen. You can trust that He is working all things together for your good, and that no matter what happens, He is with you, guiding you, and protecting you. As you step into each new day, remember that you are walking in the protection of the Almighty. You are surrounded by His love, His peace, and His power. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are a child of the King, and He has promised to keep you safe, to guard you, and to lead you into victory. With Psalm 91 as your declaration, you are not just praying for protection, you are walking in it. And you are living in the truth that God is with you, and that is all you need to face whatever comes your way. The world may change, circumstances may shift, but the promises of God remain steadfast. You are safe in His hands, you are secure in His love, and you are empowered to live the life He has called you to live. As you rise each morning and declare the truths of Psalm 91 over your life, remember that you are not just speaking empty words. You are aligning yourself with the power of God's protection, His promises, and His provision. You are acknowledging that no matter the challenges, no matter the fears, God's covering is over you. In this truth, there is freedom and peace. The storms will come, but they will not overwhelm you. The trials will come, but they will not defeat you. You are securely hidden in the shelter of the Most High under His wings, and nothing can separate you from His love or His care. With each day, choose to live with the confidence that comes from knowing that God is your refuge, your fortress, and your deliverer. Live as one who is protected, empowered, and equipped for every good work. Walk in the strength of God's promises and trust that, no matter what, He is always with you, guiding, guarding, and protecting you. Let this truth be your foundation, your shield, and your comfort. In His mighty name you are secure.
Many of you may think of it as a mere physical state, the absence of another person in your living space. But I tell you now, living alone is a state of consciousness, a journey into the depths of your own being. It is an opportunity to encounter yourself in ways that are often obscured by the constant presence of others. When you live alone, you are afforded a unique opportunity to become intimately acquainted with yourself. In the silence of your own company, you begin to hear the whispers of your innermost thoughts, the stirrings of your deepest desires, and the echoes of your true nature. This self-discovery is the foundation upon which all other learning is built. Consider for a moment how often in your daily interactions do you present a version of yourself that is tailored to the expectations of others? How often do you suppress aspects of your personality to fit in or to please those around you? In the solitude of living alone, these masks fall away. You are free to be entirely yourself without the need for pretense or performance. This authenticity is the first and perhaps most profound lesson that living alone can teach you. It allows you to explore the full spectrum of your being, to embrace both your strengths and your weaknesses, your joys and your sorrows. In relationships, we often seek to present our best selves, to hide our flaws and insecurities. But in solitude, we can confront these aspects of ourselves head on, without fear of judgment or rejection. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, isn't it through relationships that we learn about ourselves? Don't we need the mirror of others to see ourselves clearly? Add to this, I say, while relationships can indeed offer valuable insights, they often show us a reflection that is colored by the perceptions, expectations, and projections of others. Living alone provides a clearer, more unfiltered view of who you truly are. When you live alone, you become both the observer and the observed. You begin to notice patterns in your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that may have gone undetected in the busyness of constant interaction. You become aware of your habits, your preferences, your natural rhythms. This self-awareness is a powerful tool for personal growth and transformation. Moreover, living alone teaches you the art of self-reliance. In the absence of someone to share your daily tasks and responsibilities, you learn to depend on yourself. This independence is not just about practical skills, though those are certainly developed. It is about emotional and psychological self-sufficiency. When you live alone, you learn to comfort yourself in times of distress, to motivate yourself when you lack inspiration, to entertain yourself when you feel bored. You discover inner resources you may never have known you possessed. This self-reliance is an invaluable life skill that serves you well in all areas of life, including future relationships. But let us delve deeper into the transformative power of solitude. Living alone provides you with the space and time for deep introspection. In the quiet moments free from external distractions, you can explore your thoughts, examine your beliefs, and question your assumptions about life and yourself.
This introspection often leads to profound insights and personal revelations. You may discover aspirations you had forgotten, passions you had neglected, or aspects of your personality that have been overshadowed by the demands of social interactions. Living alone allows you to reconnect with these parts of yourself, to nurture them, and to integrate them into your sense of identity. Furthermore, solitude provides fertile ground for creativity and self-expression. Without the constant input and influence of others, you are free to explore your own unique ideas and perspectives. Many great works of art, literature, and scientific discovery have been born in the crucible of solitude. When you live alone, you have the opportunity to tap into this wellspring of creativity within yourself. Now, let us address a common fear that many associate with living alone, the fear of loneliness. It is true that living alone can sometimes bring feelings of isolation. But I tell you now, there is a profound difference between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness is a state of mind, a feeling of disconnection that can occur even in the midst of a crowd. Being alone, on the other hand, can be a state of peaceful solitude, of comfortable companionship with oneself. Living alone teaches you to distinguish between these states. It allows you to develop a relationship with yourself that is so rich, so fulfilling, that you no longer fear being alone. You learn to enjoy your own company, to find contentment in solitude. This is a precious gift, for it frees you from the desperate need for constant external validation and companionship. Moreover, this comfort with solitude enhances your ability to form genuine connections with others. When you are no longer driven by a fear of being alone, you can approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than need. You become capable of loving not out of lack, but out of the overflow of self-love and self-understanding that you have cultivated in your solitude. Let us now explore how living alone can teach you valuable lessons about boundaries. In relationships, we often struggle with setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. We may find ourselves compromising our needs, our values, or our personal space to accommodate others. When you live alone, you have the opportunity to establish and enforce your own boundaries without negotiation or conflict. You learn to create a living space that truly reflects your preferences and needs. You decide how to structure your time, how to pursue your interests, how to care for your physical and emotional well-being. This practice in boundary setting becomes an invaluable skill that you can carry into future relationships, allowing you to maintain your individuality and self-respect while still engaging in meaningful connections with others. Furthermore, living alone teaches you the importance of self-care. Without someone else to remind you to eat well, to rest, to take breaks from work, you must learn to attend to your own needs. This self-care goes beyond mere physical maintenance. It involves learning to nurture yourself emotionally, to provide yourself with comfort and support, to celebrate your achievements and to soothe yourself in times of distress. This lesson in self-care is perhaps one of the most valuable that living alone can offer. For when you master the art of caring for yourself, you no longer approach relationships from a place of need or desperation. Instead, you can offer love and care to others from a place of abundance, having first filled your own cup. Now let us address the spiritual dimension of living alone. Solitude has long been recognized by spiritual traditions as a powerful catalyst for inner growth and enlightenment. When you live alone, you have the opportunity to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and connection to something greater than yourself. In the silence of solitude, you may find yourself naturally drawn to practices of meditation, contemplation, or prayer. Without the distractions of constant social interaction, you can more easily tune into the subtle whispers of your intuition, the guidance of your higher self. This spiritual connection, cultivated in solitude, can become a source of strength and wisdom that sustains you throughout your life. Moreover, living alone allows you to develop a sense of purpose that is truly your own. In relationships, we often find ourselves adopting shared goals or compromising our aspirations to accommodate our partners. When you live alone, you have the freedom to explore what truly matters to you, to define success on your own terms, to pursue your unique path without the need for constant consensus or approval. This clarity of purpose is a powerful force. It gives direction to your life. infusing your days with meaning and motivation. And when you do eventually enter into relationships, you do so as someone who knows their own mind, who has a clear sense of direction. This self-assuredness can lead to more fulfilling partnerships based on mutual respect and shared growth rather than codependence or compromise. Let us now explore how living alone can teach you valuable lessons about time management and personal responsibility. When you live with others, it's easy to fall into patterns of shared responsibility or even dependency. But when you live alone, the full weight of managing your life falls squarely on your shoulders. You learn to structure your days, to balance work and leisure, to maintain your living space, to manage your finances, all without relying on anyone else. This can be challenging at first, but it ultimately leads to a profound sense of empowerment. You discover that you are capable of handling far more than you may have previously believed. This lesson in personal responsibility extends beyond practical matters. Living alone teaches you to take full ownership of your life, your choices, your successes, your failures. There is no one else to blame when things go wrong. No one else to rely on to fix your problems. This can be a harsh lesson, but it is also incredibly liberating. You learn that you have the power to shape your life, to overcome obstacles, to create the reality you desire. Furthermore, living alone provides you with the opportunity to develop a deep sense of self-trust without the constant input and opinions of others. You learn to rely on your own judgment, to trust your own instincts. You become more confident in your decision-making abilities, more assured in your choices. This self-trust is a valuable asset in all areas of life. It allows you to navigate challenges with greater ease, to take calculated risks, to pursue your dreams without the need for constant validation from others. And when you do engage in relationships, this self-trust allows you to remain true to yourself, to maintain your integrity even in the face of differing opinions or external pressures. Now, let us address the way in which living alone can enhance your appreciation for relationships. It may seem paradoxical, but solitude often leads to a deeper understanding of the value of human connection. When you are constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to take relationships for granted. But when you live alone, you become acutely aware of the richness that genuine connections bring to your life. You learn to value quality over quantity in your relationships. Rather than seeking constant social interaction to fill a void, you become selective about the people you choose to spend time with. You seek out connections that are truly meaningful, that contribute to your growth and happiness. Moreover, living alone teaches you to be a better friend, a better partner. By developing self-sufficiency and self-understanding, you are able to enter into relationships from a place of wholeness rather than need. You can offer genuine support and companionship to others, unburdened by excessive expectations or emotional dependencies. Let us now explore how living alone can foster a deeper connection with the world around you. When you're not constantly engaged in conversation or focused on the needs and desires of others, you have the opportunity to become a keen observer of your environment. You may find yourself noticing details you've never seen before. The play of light on your walls as the day progresses, the subtle changes in the plants on your windowsill, the rhythms of your neighborhood. This heightened awareness can lead to a profound sense of connection with the world. You begin to feel part of the ebb and flow of life, attuned to the subtle energies around you. This connection can be a source of great joy and comfort, reminding you that even in your solitude, you are part of something larger than yourself. Furthermore, living alone often leads to a greater appreciation for nature. Many people find themselves drawn to outdoor activities, gardening, or simply spending time in natural settings when they live alone. This connection with nature can be deeply healing and grounding, providing a sense of peace and perspective that is often lacking in our busy, relationship-focused lives. Now let us delve into how living alone can teach you to find joy and fulfillment within yourself. In relationships, we often rely on others for our happiness, looking to our partners or friends to entertain us, to lift our spirits, to give our lives meaning. But when you live alone, you learn to generate these positive states from within. You discover activities that truly bring you joy, uninfluenced by the preferences of others. You learn to motivate yourself, to lift your own spirits when you're feeling down. You find meaning and purpose in your solitary pursuits. This ability to self-generate positive states is a powerful skill that will serve you well throughout your life, in both times of solitude and in relationships. Moreover, living alone teaches you to be comfortable with stillness and silence. In our constantly connected world, many people feel uncomfortable when faced with quiet moments. They reach for their phones, turn on the TV, seek out any form of distraction to fill the silence. But in living alone, you learn to embrace these quiet moments, to find peace and rejuvenation in stillness. This comfort with silence and stillness is a valuable skill. It allows you to process your thoughts and emotions more effectively, to tap into your creativity, to recharge your energy. It also enhances your ability to be fully present, both with yourself and with others, when you do engage in relationships. Let us now address how living alone can help you develop a stronger sense of personal identity. In relationships, it's easy to become enmeshed, to lose sight of where you end and the other person begins. Your preferences, your habits, your very sense of self can become intertwined with those of your partner or family members. But when you live alone, you have the opportunity to discover and define yourself on your own terms. You learn what you truly enjoy, what you value, what you believe, without the constant influence of others. This strong sense of personal identity is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships in the future. It allows you to engage with others authentically, to contribute your unique perspective, to maintain your individuality, even as you connect deeply with others. Furthermore, living alone provides you with the opportunity to face your fears and insecurities head-on. Without the buffer of constant companionship, you are forced to confront aspects of yourself that you may have been avoiding. This might include fear of the dark, anxiety about personal safety, or deeper existential fears about your place in the world. As you face these fears in your solitude, you develop courage and resilience. You learn that you are capable of comforting yourself, of solving problems, of surviving and thriving even in challenging circumstances. This inner strength, cultivated in solitude, becomes a foundation upon which you can build a confident and fulfilling life. Now let's explore how living alone can enhance your decision-making skills. When you live with others, decisions are often made collectively, or at least with consideration for the needs and preferences of others. But when you live alone, you have full autonomy over your choices. This autonomy can be both liberating and challenging. You learn to trust your own judgment, to weigh options carefully, take full responsibility for the outcomes of your decisions. You become more decisive, more confident in your ability to navigate life's complexities. Moreover, this practice in autonomous decision-making can lead to a clearer understanding of your own values and priorities. When you're not constantly negotiating with others or compromising to maintain harmony, you can more easily identify what truly matters to you. This clarity can guide you in making choices that align with your authentic self, leading to a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Let us now address how living alone can teach you valuable lessons about self-discipline. Without external accountability, it's easy to slip into patterns of procrastination or self-indulgence. But in living alone, you have the opportunity to develop internal motivation and self-control. You learn to set goals for yourself and to follow through, not because anyone else is watching or depending on you, but because you've made a commitment to yourself. You develop the discipline to maintain healthy habits, to stay productive, to pursue your aspirations, all driven by your own internal compass. This self-discipline, cultivated in solitude, becomes a powerful tool for achieving your goals and realizing your potential. It allows you to stay focused and committed, even when faced with distractions or challenges. And when you do engage in relationships, this self-discipline enables you to maintain your personal growth and pursuits alongside your connections with others. Furthermore, living alone provides you with the opportunity to develop a deeper understanding of your own emotional landscape. Without the constant interplay of others' emotions and reactions, you can more clearly observe your own emotional patterns and triggers. You learn to sit with uncomfortable emotions, to process them healthily, to soothe yourself in times of distress. This emotional self-awareness and self-regulation is invaluable, both for your own well-being and for your ability to engage in healthy relationships in the future. Now, let us explore how living alone can foster a sense of adventure and spontaneity in your life. When you're not coordinating with others or considering their preferences, you have the freedom to follow your whims, to try new things, to change your plans at a moment's notice. This freedom can lead to delightful discoveries about yourself and the world around you. You might find yourself trying new hobbies, exploring your city in ways you never have before, or even embarking on solo travel adventures. These experiences undertaken in solitude can be incredibly enriching and empowering. Moreover, this spirit of adventure cultivated in solitude can infuse your life with a sense of excitement and possibility. You learn that you don't need others to create meaningful, enjoyable experiences. This self-sufficiency in creating joy and adventure is a valuable skill that enhances your life, whether you're alone or in relationships. Let us now delve into how living alone can teach you to be more mindful and present. Without the distractions of constant interaction, you have the opportunity to fully engage with your experiences in each moment. You can savor your meals without conversation, fully absorb yourself in a book or a piece of music, or simply sit and observe your surroundings with undivided attention. This practice in mindfulness, cultivated in solitude, can lead to a richer, more vibrant experience of life. You begin to notice subtle beauties and joys that you might have missed when your attention was constantly divided. This heightened awareness can bring a sense of wonder and gratitude to your daily life. Furthermore, this ability to be present and mindful enhances your capacity for deep listening and genuine connection when you do engage with others. You bring a quality of presence to your interactions that allows for more meaningful and authentic relationships. Now let us address how living alone can help you develop a healthier relationship with technology and social media. In our constantly connected world, it's easy to fall into patterns of excessive screen time or social media use, often as a way to feel connected to others. But when you live alone, you have the opportunity to examine and adjust these habits. You may find yourself naturally reducing your reliance on digital connections as you become more comfortable with solitude. You learn to distinguish between genuine connection and the illusion of connection that social media often provides. This discernment allows you to use technology more intentionally, as a tool for enhancement rather than a crutch for avoiding loneliness. Moreover, this healthier relationship with technology, cultivated in solitude, can lead to a greater appreciation for face-to-face interactions when you do engage with others. You bring a quality of presence and genuine interest to your conversations that is often lacking in our digitally saturated world. Let us now explore how living alone can foster a deeper appreciation for the concept of home. When you live alone, your living space becomes a true reflection of yourself. You have the freedom to create an environment that nurtures and inspires you, that truly feels like a sanctuary. You learn to invest time and energy in making your space comfortable and pleasing to you, not for the sake of impressing others, but for your own well-being and enjoyment. This process of creating a home that truly reflects and supports you can be deeply satisfying and empowering. Furthermore, this sense of home, cultivated in solitude, becomes an internal state that you can carry with you wherever you go. You develop the ability to feel at home within yourself, to create a sense of comfort and belonging regardless of your external circumstances. Now let us delve into how living alone can enhance your problem-solving skills. When you live with others, it's easy to fall into the habit of seeking help or advice for every challenge you face. But when you live alone, you're forced to rely on your own resources to solve problems. Whether it's fixing a leaky faucet, navigating a difficult work situation, or managing a personal crisis, you learn to approach challenges with creativity and determination. You discover that you're capable of handling far more than you might have previously believed. This enhanced problem-solving ability, developed in solitude, becomes a valuable asset in all areas of your life. It allows you to approach challenges with confidence, to think creatively, to persist in the face of obstacles. And when you do engage in relationships, you bring this resourcefulness and resilience to the partnership, contributing to a more balanced and mutually supportive dynamic. Let us now address how living alone can teach you valuable lessons about self-love and self-acceptance. In the absence of constant external validation or criticism, you have the opportunity to develop a more stable and authentic sense of self-worth. You learn to appreciate your own company, to value your unique qualities and quirks. You become less dependent on others' opinions for your sense of self-esteem. This self-love, cultivated in solitude, becomes a solid foundation upon which you can build healthy relationships in the future. Moreover, living alone provides you with the space to work through your insecurities and self-doubts. Without the distraction of constant interaction, you're forced to confront these inner struggles head-on. This can be challenging, but it ultimately leads to greater self-acceptance and inner peace. Now, let us explore how living alone can enhance your capacity for empathy and compassion. It might seem counterintuitive, but solitude often leads to a deeper understanding of the human experience. As you navigate the challenges and joys of living alone, you develop a greater appreciation for the struggles and triumphs of others. You become more attuned to the nuances of human emotion, more understanding of the complexities of personal growth. This enhanced empathy cultivated in solitude allows you to connect more deeply with others when you do engage in relationships. You bring a quality of understanding and compassion to your interactions that enriches your connections and contributes to more fulfilling relationships. Furthermore, this capacity for empathy extends to yourself. You learn to be kinder to yourself, to forgive your own mistakes, to celebrate your own growth. This self-compassion is a valuable skill that enhances your overall well-being and resilience. Let us now delve into how living alone can teach you to find meaning and purpose beyond relationships. In our society, there's often an emphasis on finding fulfillment through romantic partnerships or family roles. But when you live alone, you have the opportunity to discover sources of meaning that are entirely your own. You may find purpose in your work, in creative pursuits, in service to your community, or in personal growth. You learn that a fulfilling life doesn't necessarily require a romantic partner or a traditional family structure. This understanding allows you to approach relationships from a place of choice rather than need, enhancing the quality of your connections when you choose to engage in them. Moreover, this ability to find meaning and purpose within yourself becomes a source of strength and stability that you carry with you throughout your life, regardless of your relationship status. Now, let us address how living alone can enhance your appreciation for the concept of interdependence. While solitude teaches you self-reliance, it also highlights the ways in which we are all connected and dependent on one another. You become more aware of the myriad ways in which others contribute to your life. From the farmers who grow your food to the authors of the books you read to the countless individuals who maintain the infrastructure of your community. This awareness fosters a sense of gratitude and connection to the broader human community. Furthermore, this understanding of interdependence, cultivated in solitude, allows you to engage in relationships from a place of mutual respect and appreciation. You recognize the value that others bring to your life, while also understanding the unique contributions you have to offer. Let us now explore how living alone can teach you to embrace uncertainty and change. When you live with others, it's easy to fall into comfortable routines and patterns. But when you live alone, you're more likely to encounter unexpected changes and challenges. You learn to adapt to new situations, to find comfort in the unknown, to see change as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat to your stability. This flexibility and resilience cultivated in solitude become valuable assets in navigating life's inevitable ups and downs. Moreover, this comfort with uncertainty allows you to approach life with a sense of curiosity and openness. You become more willing to take risks, to try new things, to step outside your comfort zone. This adventurous spirit enhances the quality of your life and relationships, bringing a sense of vitality and growth to all your endeavors. Now, let us delve into how living alone can enhance your creativity and self-expression. Without the constant influence and input of others, you have the freedom to explore your own unique ideas and perspectives. You may find yourself drawn to creative pursuits that you never had time for in the past, or rediscovering passions that you had set aside. This creative self-expression, cultivated in solitude, becomes a powerful outlet for your emotions and ideas. It allows you to process your experiences, to make meaning of your life, to contribute your unique voice to the world. And when you do engage in relationships, this creativity enhances your ability to bring fresh perspectives and inner solutions to your interactions. Furthermore, the self-expression cultivated in solitude often leads to a stronger sense of authenticity. You become more comfortable expressing your true thoughts and feelings, less concerned with conforming to others' expectations. This authenticity enriches your relationships, allowing for deeper and more genuine connections. Let us now address how living alone can teach you to find balance in your life. Without the demands and schedules of others to consider, you have the opportunity to create a lifestyle that truly works for you. You learn to balance work and leisure, social time and solitude, activity and rest in ways that support your well-being and goals. This ability to create balance, cultivated in solitude, becomes a valuable skill that you can carry into future relationships. You learn to maintain your own needs and boundaries even as you engage with others, leading to healthier and more sustainable connections. Moreover, this sense of balance extends to your emotional life. You learn to navigate the full spectrum of human emotion, to find equilibrium between joy and sorrow, excitement and calm. This emotional balance enhances your resilience and overall well-being. Now let us explore how living alone can foster a deeper connection with your intuition. In the quiet of solitude, away from the noise of others' opinions and expectations, you can more easily hear the whispers of your own inner wisdom. You learn to trust your gut feelings, to recognize the subtle guidance of your intuition. This connection with your intuition, cultivated in solitude, becomes a powerful guide in your decision-making and life choices. It allows you to navigate complex situations with greater ease and confidence. And when you do engage in relationships, this strong connection to your inner wisdom helps you maintain your authenticity and make choices that truly align with your values and desires. Furthermore, this attunement to your intuition often leads to a greater sense of trust in the unfolding of your life. You become more comfortable with uncertainty, more open to the mysterious ways in which life unfolds. This trust enhances your overall sense of peace and contentment, regardless of your external circumstances. Let us now delve into how living alone can teach you to cultivate inner peace. In the absence of external distractions and interpersonal conflicts, you have the opportunity to explore the source of true peace within yourself. You learn that peace is not dependent on your circumstances or relationships, but is a state that you can access within. This inner peace, cultivated in solitude, becomes a stable foundation upon which you can build your life. It allows you to navigate challenges with greater ease, to maintain your center even in turbulent times. And when you do engage in relationships, this inner peace allows you to be a calming and stabilizing presence for others. Moreover, this cultivation of inner peace often leads to a reduction in drama and conflict in your life. You become less reactive, more able to respond to situations with wisdom and equanimity. This peaceful presence enhances the quality of your relationships and contributes to a more harmonious life overall. Now let us address how living alone can enhance your ability to set and achieve goals. Without the competing priorities and schedules of others to consider, you have the freedom to focus fully on your personal aspirations. You learn to set meaningful goals for yourself and to create strategies for achieving them. This goal-setting ability, cultivated in solitude, becomes a powerful tool for personal growth and achievement. You become more proactive in shaping your life, more committed to your personal development. And when you do engage in relationships, you bring this sense of purpose and direction, contributing to more dynamic and growth-oriented partnerships. Furthermore, the achievement of personal goals in solitude often leads to increased self-confidence and self-efficacy. You develop a stronger belief in your ability to create the life you desire, to overcome obstacles to realize your potential. This confidence enhances all areas of your life, including your relationships. Let us now explore how living alone can teach you to find comfort in your own skin. Without the constant presence of others, you have the opportunity to become intimately acquainted with yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your physical sensations. You learn to be present with yourself, to find ease in your own company. This comfort with yourself, cultivated in solitude, becomes a source of strength and stability that you carry with you always. It allows you to be more authentic in your relationships, less dependent on others for your sense of self-worth. You bring a quality of self-assurance to your interactions that enhances the depth and genuineness of your connections. Moreover, this comfort in your own skin often leads to a greater sense of physical self-awareness and self-care. You become more attuned to your body's needs, more committed to practices that support your physical well-being. This enhanced self-care contributes to your overall health and vitality. Now let us delve into how living alone can enhance your appreciation for the present moment. Without the distractions of constant interaction, You have the opportunity to fully engage with your immediate experience. You learn to savor the simple pleasures of life. A cup of coffee in the morning, the play of light on your walls, the sound of rain on your roof. This appreciation for the present moment, cultivated in solitude, becomes a source of joy and contentment that enriches your entire life. It allows you to find beauty and meaning in the ordinary, to experience a sense of fullness and satisfaction regardless of your external circumstances. And when you do engage in relationships, you bring this quality of presence and appreciation, enhancing the depth and richness of your connections. Furthermore, this focus on the present moment often leads to a reduction in anxiety and worry. You become less preoccupied with past regrets or future concerns, more able to find peace and fulfillment in the here and now. This present moment awareness contributes to your overall well-being and resilience. In conclusion, my dear friends, living alone is not a state to be feared or avoided, but an opportunity to be embraced. It offers lessons and growth experiences that are unique and profoundly transformative. The self-knowledge, self-reliance, and inner peace cultivated in solitude become the foundation upon which you can build a rich and fulfilling life, whether you choose to remain single or to enter into relationships. Remember, the goal is not to isolate yourself from others or to reject the beauty of human connection. Rather, it is to develop such a strong, centered sense of self that you can engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than need. The lessons learned in solitude enhance your capacity for genuine, meaningful connections when you do choose to engage with others. So I encourage you, embrace the opportunity to live alone if it presents itself. See it not as a period of waiting for your real life to begin, but as a valuable chapter in your life story, rich with opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Use this time to cultivate a deep and loving relationship with yourself, to discover your passions, to develop your strengths, to work through your fears and insecurities. And know this, the person you become through this journey of solitude, confident, self-aware, emotionally mature, capable of generating your own happiness, is a person who will attract and create healthy, fulfilling relationships should you choose to pursue them. You will approach connections from a place of choice rather than need, of giving rather than taking, of equality rather than dependence. Go forth and embrace your solitude. Allow it to teach you, to shape you, to reveal to you the vast richness of your own inner world. For in doing so, you are not just learning to live alone, you are learning to live fully, authentically, and joyfully in whatever circumstances life may bring. Thank you, and may your journey of self-discovery, whether in solitude or in companionship, be filled with growth, joy, and profound self-realization.